Hey, what's up, everybody? Jersey in the Garage. Remember that pulling tractor that I posted on TikTok? Well, I've had a few comments requesting a full video of the build and, well, the tractor up and running. Now, this tractor is not owned by me. It's by a customer that found out that I used to race lawnmowers for the United States Lawnmower Racing Association. And so he asked me to install this motor, do the wiring, and do some other stuff to it. So I hope you enjoy the video. Here we go. So this is what we got. We ran the blower wires, fusible link to the battery, running into the switch. This switch could be lighted, but we're not getting that crazy. I also didn't like that the fact that it looked like the switch would be a parasitic draw, so I opted not to do the LED. So fusible link to the blower. Ground is going to right here, which is on this chassis bracket. We've got it loomed all the way down, going to our blower with the shoddy ass bracket that I don't know what I was thinking. I should have done better, a rector set, but I think I was getting, he's been pushing so hard for this thing to be done. I think I was in a rush, and that's never a good thing to do to a mechanic that's doing fabrication for you. Just a hint. So if he wants to change that bracket, then let him change that bracket. The engine cradle was welded in, and it brings the engine up an inch, and then we still needed an 1/8 inch of lift on the engine to get us to where we needed to be. So this is 1 1/8 inch. The bolts here on this cradle here are welded in on the back side, on the tail side of the engine. So there's 3 holes on each side of the bracket. So you got your holes for front, the holes for the tail side of the back, but the holes there are 5/16 bolts. 5/16, I believe, welded in to that engine cradle. Gussets on all 4 sides. So you got gusset here, gusset welded in here, gusset welded in here. It's a T-bracket style engine cradle. So I was worried about stress points, so that's why I welded in gussets. I'm gonna loom this for the guy, but it's pretty much done. I'm gonna loom this in maybe, and then of course we heat shrunk. My fuel line has loom on it to protect from any kind of heat. Inside the engine bay, I'm going to get this clamp back to where it needs to be. We have 2 fail safes on the ignition side. I have the main fuse, which is a 30 amp fuse, and then I have a 30 amp breaker to stop the system from spiking the coils. So then this is all custom wired all the way down to here, all loomed in. Charging system works. We've got 12 volts to excite the stator, so that will excite the rectifier. So we've got that all going in. Trigger wire. Throttle cable was his original throttle cable. To get a throttle cable for this thing, he's been pushing me so hard, so to get it, it would just it would delay everything. Throttle cable running through the chassis, up and over, keeping it away from the exhaust. If he needs to, he can. The way that I've mounted this and used this bracket here, he could pull this away from the exhaust if need be, and it wouldn't affect the throttle. I used this bracket here, which was to pull the throttle cable away from the engine and the exhaust, and that way we also gained our tension. This choke cable here is from Advanced Auto. It's pretty much this. It's an automotive choke cable. It's the choke cable that you would use on a 57 Chevy for a 4-barrel Edelbrock, maybe even a 6-pack. Obviously, it was way out there, so I cut it to length, mounted it in, put that in there. No one around this county right now has red 14 gauge. No. Yeah. 14 gauge battery cable. The 14 gauge or 12 gauge. I don't know. I'm tired. Garage is a mess. Ran the cable all the way back to the battery side. From this side, it was originally on that side. That's the engine that it had. It was an Opie. So we ran the cable back around, up, over, and safely above the drive line. Drive line's right here. Again, alignment is perfect, 1.1 inches. No vibrations. That's what I was worried about. And we ran the right here. Of course, no one had red, so I taped it to show that it's a positive cable. He's got the wrong cable there, but I'm not messing with that. So we're going to put the covers on this thing. He's going to have the exhaust built. Well, he can mess with the bracket if he wants to. He said it was good. I don't think it's good at all. But that's where we're at. Now I have to clean up this mess. Ugh. Well, there you have it. The pulling tractor is back to the customer, and he has a big money pull that he's going to be doing. So hopefully he wins some money. Now, the adapter that was on that Predator was by 670 Performance. That's how we put the pin clutch on. So I just wanted to make this video and show you that, well, I've told you on a couple other videos, I'll work on anything. I've worked on small engines, but motorcycles are my passion, and Harley Davidson is 100% my passion. I love the history, and I love those motorcycles. I went to school at York Technical for motorcycle technology, and well, I fell in love with Harley Davidson at that school. I've worked on metric. We did metric class 2, everything from tear down to diagnosing on metric bikes, but I just fell in love with Harley Davidson. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the garage.